Hello, thank you for tuning in to the Katie Sassine Show. As always, addressing the indoctrination of the nation. I've got big news today, very big news today. This is making global news, this national election, and this is the French national election for president. And why is it making global news? Because of candidate Marine Le Pen. So, bienvenue au Katie Sassine Show. Je suis Katie. And nous parlons about the French election today. So let's check out this video highlighting a boy, Christophe, a young man, Christophe, who is trying to encourage other young voters to get out and vote for Marine Le Pen. Marine, let's check it out.
Out on a protest with the FN's youth division in Calais. They're supporting the presidential candidate, Marine Le Pen.
Alors le message est tout simple, hein. Le message est très simple, c'est les jeunes avec Marine. Les jeunes avec Marine. Youth people with Marine. Et puis ça montre également qu'on brave le froid, la neige, la pluie, pour tenter de convaincre les Français de voter pour Marine. You can film in the car. Most reactions are positive. I say that most reactions are very positive. Hi, I'm Christophe, I'm 26 and I am the head of National Youth in Pas-de-Calais. Nos valeurs, protéger les Français de la mondialisation, du chômage et de l'immigration de masse.
Christophe is part of a new generation of activists, all believing that the FN's future is now mainstream. Over the past few years, the FN's rebranded itself. They say they're no longer fascist or racist, but are realists who have diagnosed France's problem. They claim the party's for everyone now. Christophe has taken us to a school to spread the message.
Bonjour, un trait pour Marine Le Pen. Mais nous on défend l'ensemble des Français, mademoiselle. Merci, bon week-end. Et dans le sens où elle a des préjugés visiblement, cette fille. Et elle a des préjugés parce qu'elle a dû entendre un certain nombre de remarques sur nous qui n'étaient pas forcément justes, et notamment sur notre programme. Et je pense que cette fille-là n'a pas dû consulter notre programme sur le site internet. Sinon, elle aurait bien vu que, évidemment, on ne fait aucune discrimination entre les Français. Voilà. Bon week-end.
Bon week-end. Pas de vacances.
On s'écarte un peu. Effectivement, il y a d'une part un effet de groupe. C'est-à-dire que quand un manifeste son désaccord avec nos idées, à ce moment-là, la plupart des...
Welcome back. As you could see, people are very skeptical of the National Front Party. As we could see, they kind of rejected Christophe as he was trying to pass out brochures or flyers to young people to encourage them to think about the National Front Party, and especially leading candidate, not Marie. Her father, I confused her and her father. Her father's name is Jean-Marie. She is Marine Le Pen. So he's trying to encourage them to vote for Marine Le Pen. In the 70s, when this party was started, they had absolutely no chance of being in a presidential election. And now that it has actually come to fruition and they have a good amount of seats in parliament, they actually have a shot. And they're not looked at as much as they used to be. If you already know a little bit about the party, you know that they have a reputation for anti-Semitism and racism. And now those rumors or stigmatisms about the party are starting to dissipate. And of course, they already have among their supporters, because these supporters, these youth, are good people. They describe themselves as realists, and they want the best for the country. They are against mass immigration. They are not against any particular religions, but they are against mass immigration. And can you blame them, considering the attacks in France that have surpassed the attacks in other EU countries? As far as I can see, I see them in the news more than other countries in Europe that are being attacked. And we'll check out a timeline of that later where we'll see that exemplified, at least in the last few years. We see Paris as a top target of terrorist attacks. And bear in mind, most terrorist attacks are Muslim on Muslim. But nevertheless, in the country of France, they are becoming more and more prevalent every day. This is a huge issue. If you want to support Christophe and other people like Christophe who are fighting for nationalism, who want to be patriots of their country, you can say something about him nice on your social media page and hashtag Jeune avec Marine. That's youth with Marine in the beautiful language of French, of course. Jeune, Jeune avec AVEC, Marine, MARINE. So please check that out. You can just check out the hashtag results on Twitter or Google. Something interesting to do is just to search a hashtag and you get to find what people everywhere are saying about it. And if you did catch me on that, you have heard a little research technique of mine that is pretty useful. So remember, these people are realists and people are judging them without knowing them. We see this situation parallel directly the Trump supporters in the US. Remember when we talked about the Berkeley protest against Milo Yiannopoulos speaking on the Berkeley campus? And we talked about how the liberals were actually acting as fascists. Although the university blamed the anarchy group, we know that people outside of the anarchy group were also practicing fascism by inhibiting freedom of speech, by attacking Trump supporters and destroying the campus, only to prevent someone from speaking. Now, to inhibit freedom of expression is fascism. That's just the way I see it. So you can judge me for saying that I don't like the inhibition or the prohibiting of freedom of speech, but I'm with all of you out there. I want to help. In order to help everyone, I encourage people to speak their minds. How can you be against that? Anyway, moving on to a little bit more specific details, some more specific details about Marine Le Pen. And she is the head of the far-right National Front Party. Since 2011, she succeeded her father, Jean-Marie, as he was the founder in the 1970s. She succeeded her father as the leader. And she now seeks to clean up the party's image. It was rumored as racist and anti-Semitic because those traits were affiliated with the party due to her father's comments regarding the Holocaust, and you can check those out on YouTube. And he has been prosecuted for his comments against, well, I'm not going to say what they're for or against because that's all open to interpretation, but he has been prosecuted for his comments, for exercising his right of free speech. Now, do I personally think what he said was racist or anti-Semitic? Probably could have been taken that way, but again, everything's open to interpretation. Now, I probably would disagree with the left who believes that his comments are anti-Semitic and racist, because I've seen how twisted the media can be and the spin doctors that they've got, especially here in the US. I mean, the US leads spin doctors. So as an American citizen, well, I kind of expect that the spin doctors in France have kind of misconstrued the reality of Jean-Marie Le Pen. But something notable, she has separated herself, Marine Le Pen has separated herself publicly in the public eye from her father. And this began, was it maybe as soon as, was it the beginning of the presidential race, or was it when she became the president and succeeded her father? I believe it was when she succeeded her father. She wanted to immediately separate herself and rebrand the National Front Party as what they really are. So she dissociated herself with her father, but nonetheless, he is still the honorary president of the National Front. So she probably just did it for branding, to get out all the stigmatisms of the party, because so many people were labeling them as this and as that and as this and as that, all because of comments made by Jean-Marie Le Pen. Now, bear in mind, when Jean-Marie Le Pen started this organization in the 70s, the organization was so new and so young. Again, there was not a chance that they would get into a presidential election. So, and he was known for his being outspoken and being charismatic and no filter. So odds are, since he knew he wasn't going to be running for president, he probably pushed the envelope a lot in his speeches. Now, Marine Le Pen, she can't really do that because she's running for president. She has to appeal more to the moderate side of the spectrum, the moderate point of the spectrum. And she also states that she is neither right nor left, but that she is a patriot in favor of France and in favor of the success of the people of France. So what are her policies? How are we doing on timing over there? Let's see how we're doing on timing today. Okay. So you got to wrap up in a little bit for break, but before we go, let's talk about Marine Le Pen's expressive policies. On immigration, she would like immigration capped at 10,000 per year with limited access to public services. And we've also seen the same policies pushed forth by President Donald J. Trump. We saw the same immigration policies pushed forth by Geert Wilders that ran for the Dutch race, and also Theresa May. And we know that Boris Johnson, who I touted as the British Trump, was known as the leader for the Brexit movement, but Theresa May, also a conservative, favored Brexit. So this whole election, it could be another huge step for patriotism and for nationalism, for a rebirth of nationalism in the globalized world. Now, before we get to the other policies, I just want to highlight that the National Front Party is a party that favors nationalism. And nationalism is pride in one's country. So, to say that you don't support Marine Le Pen as a French citizen says that you are not by identity a French citizen, but you are a citizen of somewhere else. And who do these citizens identify themselves with if they don't identify themselves first and foremost as far as cultural identity, country identity? They identify themselves with the European Union. The European Union that restricts the leadership of leaders of states, nations that are part of the European Union. So this super liberal organization, the European Union, ultimately decides what the national leaders of the countries within the European Union can and cannot do. And that's just not flying with these European countries anymore. And especially it has been, you know, catalyzed. This resistance of super liberalism has been catalyzed by the attacks due to the religious war of Islam. Now we're going to come back and talk about more of Marine Le Pen's policies, so stay tuned in to the Katie Sassine Show. Je suis Katie, and we'll be right back with you.
Ace is your helpful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge, we have your new house in stock.
At Days Chevrolet in Jasper, we make everything better. It all starts with a huge new Chevy selection. Then we heap on the discounts to make sure your Chevy price is the lowest you'll find anywhere. And if you like great customer service, you'll love it at Days. Bigger selection, lower prices, easy financing, and great customer service. Your better day is just ahead at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds. Come on in to view the area's largest selection of fine jewelry at North Georgia Diamond. All repairs and designs are done on site by our jewelers. And North Georgia Diamond has the lowest prices on loose diamonds. You can also sell your gold, silver, and coins at North Georgia Diamond between Walmart and Lowe's in East Ella J. Locally owned by Bill and Allison Craig, North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Hi, I'm Rhonda the Mattress Lady, and this is my husband Gary, owners of Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart. And we want to earn your business. From the time you walk in our door to the time we deliver your new mattress to your door, you will see the difference. Our selection and prices are the best in North Georgia, and customer service is our top priority. So y'all come on in and let us help you find the right mattress at the right price. That's Mattress Overstocked in LJ next to Walmart.
What you gonna do with all that junk?
Spring is one of the best times of year to visit the North Georgia mountains. Not only do we celebrate fall apples in Gilmer County, we celebrate the blossoms of spring. The Georgia Apple Blossom Festival brings one exciting weekend to East LJ, Georgia. This free, pet-friendly event has over 50 hand-selected regional vendors offering food, art, crafts, kids' activities, and more. For more information, visit GeorgiaAppleBlossomFestival.com.
Hello, welcome back to a Katie Sassine Show, to the Katie Sassine Show. And for those French viewers out there, let me say in my best French, bienvenue au Katie Sassine Show avec Katie Sassine. I wish I could say host, but I can't remember how to say that. So here we go, continuing back on the topic, because you're not here to listen to me and listen to the not funny jokes that I have to make. You're here to hear about Marine Le Pen, because I know when I see those YouTube videos and people don't stop talking just like I'm doing right now, I just wish they would get to the point, so here we go. We were just discussing the immigration policies of Marine Le Pen. She wants to cap it at $10,000 per year with limited access to public services. And her economic policy, it is in line with her support of, the word I have not said yet, FREXIT. F-R-E-X-I-T, FREXIT. Believe it or not, if you don't know what FREXIT means, I don't know what kind of rock you've been sleeping under, but it's super dense and soundproof, because Brexit made global news last year of 2016 of July. It was June. And in June, it was all over the place, all summer. And what happened? It passed. The referendum to get out of the European Union passed. And now it has come to fruition. The United Kingdom is on its way out of the European Union. Now, FREXIT is, of course, the French exit from the European Union. They're ready for a return to nationalism, to their pride in their country, to the people of their country running their nation from the bottom up, instead of the European Union running their nation from the top down. And sometimes when I say European Union, I almost say United Nations, because the way I think about the European Union is an experimental United Nations on a small scale. So it's taken to a further extent of power. It has a further extent of power over the nations that are a part of it versus the United Nations and the member states or nations that are a part of it. So the way I see it is the European Union is a way to see the boundaries that the United Nations can cross. And what's happening with the European Union is we're starting to see that people do not like this super liberal top-down control exhibited by the United Nations and the smaller experiment, I like to call experiment, the European Union. People aren't liking it. There's dissenters. People are starting to understand nationalism is important. So, and what about France's economy? Well, checking out videos and news of France, and I was living in Spain a couple years ago, and employment was high there for young people. Young people there, 1 out of 4 can't find a job, or 1 out of 5 can't find a job, between 1 and 4 and 1 and 5. And that's terrible. I mean, everywhere I go, when I drive around Georgia, or in the metro Atlanta area where I've been born and raised, when I drive around, I see hire signs everywhere. I mean, granted, I see them mostly at fast food places and places where they're paying the minimum hourly wage, but nonetheless, those jobs are available. They're there for the taking. And a lot of those jobs are available to people that have been in trouble with the law as well. So, I mean, even with the restrictions, it's like we still have it so much better here than they do in France. So can you imagine if you were trying to get a job as a youth and, you know, just to make some extra money and you couldn't even do that? And then that turns into pressure upon the parents, and it just permeates through every generation in society. So it's very sad, you know, the economic situation, and it should be much better for the French people. I mean, think about the great wine they make, and perfume at that. No, but in all seriousness, that's not right. It should be improved. She's very serious about protectionist measures to stimulate domestic economy in France, so that this unemployment thing becomes a thing of the past. And also, as she wants to do the FREXIT and make a return to a nation of nationalists that are about protecting their nation, she's in favor of the return of the French franc. So, very interesting stuff there, which I'm sure they would still accept the euro. It would be a slow transition. But if Marine Le Pen were to be the next president of France, and the elections are today, then we could be paying with the franc the next time we visit France. Who knows? So what is her, we all know that we're on policies right now. We talked about immigration, economic. Now, what about Russia? Do you think that Marine Le Pen would be in favor of good relations with Vladimir Putin or against? Well, just look at Donald Trump, and we see the same outlook with Marine Le Pen. Marine Le Pen is another candidate in a presidential race that understands the importance of amicable relations with Vladimir Putin, the leader of Russia. We know that he has not had the squeakiest, the most squeaky clean reputation here, okay? He was in the KGB. He admitted that he joined the KGB because he had flawed perception of being a KGB member. He thought it was more like the movies. So as a young boy, maybe he had, you know, not really understood the implications of what he was joining, but nonetheless, he was a good agent for the KGB, so good that the entire Russian community wanted him in power. Now, if you can maintain your trust in an organization, even if it's a corrupt organization like the KGB is said to be, as we all know, then you understand that a guy who can keep his promises, for the good or bad, is a excellent person to have as your leader. Because people change their minds. They change what they believe in. But an honest person, and someone who knows how to be honest, that's not easy. That's not easy to change. An honest person is many times just an honest person. So if he could keep his loyalty to the KGB, then I have no doubt he could keep his loyalty to the Russian government and Russian nationalism. Now, he does believe in nationalism, and Marine Le Pen believes in nationalism. So why would she not want to be amicable with a like-minded individual such as Vladimir Putin, especially since they have so much, Russia has so much land, they have such a territorial advantage over nearly every nation in the world. As far as, you know, time of war goes, they have a serious advantage due to their due to their huge territory. So I've mentioned parallels that we've seen in the Dutch Geert Wilders, and even more notably, the Prime Minister, Theresa May, leader of the Conservative Party, in favor of Brexit. And also, last but not least, certainly not least, President Donald J. Trump. All of these people are affiliated with Marine Le Pen and her movement in France. These movements that happened in the US, where we saw the youth attacking each other for their respective beliefs, was also occurring during the Dutch elections, in the Netherlands, when Geert Wilders ran, and was also occurring when Theresa May ran, and talks of Brexit started coming about. So this is not a national election. This is an election. This is a global election. This election will affect the entire world. So why am I talking about this as an American? Because this election means things for the United States of America. Let's say Marine Le Pen wins. Well, that means that there's more power to nationalism. There's more global understanding of what nationalism is and its significance to the success of the balance of power and the success of the global community as a whole. The liberals want to dissolve nationalism. If we're talking about a true liberal, that true liberal wants to dissolve nationalism. They want you to think that you're a society, you're in the global society, that you are a worldly citizen. You are not a French citizen. You are not an American or a Dutch citizen. You are a global citizen. But what does that mean? Does that mean that you get to retain your American culture or your French or your Dutch culture? Who is your loyalty to? Would they redefine culture as a whole? Yes, that's exactly what they would do. This is dark waters that we could be approaching. And if Marine Le Pen wins this election today in France, that is a great thing for people that believe in nationalism and patriotism for their countries. So if she wins today, it would be a beautiful victory, and I would be very happy for the French people. So what about her father, Jean-Marie Le Pen? He is the honorary president of the National Front. And there's a picture of Jean-Marie Le Pen with his daughter Marine Le Pen, presidential candidate. So in 2011, his daughter succeeded him and publicly distanced himself from him in order to rebrand the National Front Party image. And she had to do things like this because of his comments that have been made to the public. He has been labeled as a racist and anti-Semitic. But nonetheless, the support for the party keeps growing, even though they know that Marine Le Pen is the cut from the same cloth. She is the daughter of this so-called racist and anti-Semitic man. So what does that tell us? That tells us that the people in France aren't buying those rumors about Jean-Marie Le Pen. They don't really think that his comments were anti-Semitic and racist. And we'll look into those tomorrow when we get back to the show. And by tomorrow, we will know the election results. However, we will not know the winner. Well, we may not know the winner because the winner may not be determined tonight. The winner must get more than 50% of the votes. If Marine Le Pen or her counterparts, which we will talk about when we get back, do not attain 50 or more % of the votes, the election will go to a runoff election. That will not take place until, I believe, May 20th. So, anyway, we'll be right back with you, or we'll be back with you tomorrow. And I hope you enjoyed the show today. Encourage your French friends to speak out for their beliefs. And thank you for tuning into the Katie Sassine Show, always on the indoctrination of the nation. And remember to follow me at Katie FYN TV.